Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Speedcars Down Under. Tonight, our special guest is Menz. Welcome, Dylan.
Thank you for that.
How are we, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Waiting for the Speedway season to start, but yeah, you're already away up there and had a good win on the weekend, I've been told.
Yeah. I got a win, which is good. We didn't win anything last year in the Speedcar, so to go out in the first night and have a good night's always positive. So we'll see how we crack on for the rest of it.
And to beat the current Australia 1 too, that's a great way of starting off the season.
Yeah, definitely good to have him up there and to see what we had against him. And don't necessarily think much of it. We were very, very similar on pace the whole night. Like our lap times and that were identical the whole night. It just happened to be that I got the jump on the start, which I knew was important, and was able to get away. If the roles were reversed, I'd say the finishing order may have been the same. So we'll take it. And then next time he comes up or we meet again, we'll see how we go then.
Is he as hard a driver as what everyone says he is to race against?
When you say hard, do you mean like aggressive, or do you mean just to beat?
To beat, of course.
I think he's definitely a good competitor. Obviously, he's been able to achieve what all of us want to do, and that's win Australian titles. He's got 2 of them under his belt. Yep. So I think that he's obviously got his head screwed on and knows how to get a midget around. So it's a credit to him and his dad and whoever else is in his corner to have what they have. And obviously had a lot of knowledge there. And he's definitely fair. There's a couple of times there where he could have probably just sent it in there and pushed me wide or something, but he didn't. So that goes in the back of your mind. That he's obviously a fair, clean racer as well.
And you had the sprint car out on the weekend as well. How do you go with double duties?
Yeah, not too bad. It is definitely stressful, and changes and that you can't really do too much between the two. Like, it's hard if you crash or something. You kind of have to keep that in the back of your mind. Don't put yourself in that position where the team will be changing a front end or having to do something extra than what we already are. So we definitely changed the way that I drive. I think a bit cleaner and a bit more smarter on those nights.
Yep. And where do we rate Toowoomba as a track, Dylan? Like, do we like the track or?
Yeah, that's always sort of been my favourite track. Obviously, being up here, you sort of get to know your way around it, but it definitely changes night to night. It was a lot heavier on the top there, and had a bottom line there the other night. So it was sort of, with the speed car, run the bottom in 1 and 2, and then run the top in 3 and 4. So it spices it up a little bit. Yep. But every week's different, and that catches some people out, and it's good for others.
Yep. So where did your racing career first start, Dylan? How did you get involved in Speedway?
Yeah, so junior sedans I started when I was 11. So mum and dad started me in that. And then, went to mod lights when I was 16. And then, went to 360 sprint cars after that. And then sort of worked the way up to the 410s and now speed cars as well.
So you've drove a fair variety of classes of cars over the years, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And had a bit of a break there at one stage, and like later on in your career, like you had a bit of a spell. Why was that, mate?
So early 20s, like I was sort of juggling between having my own team, like because I took over from mum and dad paying the bills when I was, I think, 18 or 19, and sort of had to run with it myself, obviously with their help in the shed and that, but just taking over that role of paying my own way, and I'd put all my money that I had into a team and like just a car, and I think we were on a tow truck. So Dad's tilt tray, because he had a tilt tray business, and we'd just turn up to the track on the back of a tilt tray, and yeah, it's sort of come to time to buy a house for me and my now wife. So we had to sell all the race car stuff and bought a house. And then, yeah, after that, then sort of come back and slowly worked our way up. And then started a business, and now, yeah, sort of been able to elevate the race team since. And now the business is quite successful. So it's good.
And what business is that, Dylan?
So yeah, Menz Trading and Hire is my company, and we deal with portable buildings and shipping containers.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got a variety of hire and sale options.
Yeah, right. So that'll keep you very busy then.
Yeah, definitely.
So I looked at your calendar this year. I haven't
Yep.
been able to find the Speedcar one yet, but you got 47 nights of sprint car racing. When are you going to
Yep.
find time to jump in the Speedcar?
Yeah, so it's definitely taken a little bit of a back seat. We've still got about 8 shows in the speed car to throw in there, and I haven't released a calendar just yet, just in case we want to add some more in. But the next race for us is in that November period, and then after that is pretty much from February onwards is the last 6 shows. So, you know, there's a bit of a break in between there just to focus on the sprint car stuff. So,
And Australian title, going to go to the Australian Speedcar title?
no, not this year,
Yep.
unfortunately. Just sort of didn't work out with the sprint car calendar. I think it's the same weekend as one of the big races in January. So I think it might be the Classic or something like that. Or you know, so obviously we just got to make a decision, and hopefully the Australian speed car title comes to Toowoomba the year after or something along those lines, and we can be able to fit that in.
Yep. Of course, it's a very expensive sport nowadays, isn't it? You know, everything just seems to be going up in price, and it doesn't make it easier for travelling, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So, you've won Queensland Speedcar title a couple of years back. Is there any other big events that go down in like your book as a big win?
To be honest, not really.
Yep.
I've definitely struggled to be a podium sort of contender all the time. Like I haven't done that much racing until the last 2 or 3 years, and you know, obviously been on the podium quite a bit with the speed car, but I can't think of any other time that you know, it's been a title or anything. It's normally just an A main win, a standard club show or something like that.
Yep.
But yeah, hopefully that changes in the years to come.
Yeah, well, you're still only pretty young, aren't you? You've still got a few years of racing left in you. That's
Yeah,
right.
exactly. That's right. Yeah.
Chili Bowl. We've been there before.
Yeah, I went to the Chili Bowl. Yeah, not last year, the year before, and that's the only time I've been so far.
Yep. Are we going back to race again?
Yeah, I'd say so. We will. Obviously not this year, but it's definitely on the cards. I definitely want to go back and get a bit of redemption there.
Yep. And what do you think of the track and the racing environment in America?
The Chili Bowl was a cool experience. Obviously, you know, everybody that's into speed cars or midgets, you know, they're watching it, and you know, everybody gets behind any Australian that goes over there. So that's always it was a good feeling to have a lot of messages, and a lot of people following that journey there, and it was just cool, you know, a cool experience. And then obviously the racing is pretty wild in America, like just such next level compared to here. But
And what about New Zealand, Dylan? Have we been over there yet, or are we planning to go over there at all?
So I haven't been to New Zealand yet.
Yep.
That is definitely something I wouldn't mind doing, crossing off the list. I know that their big shows are sort of around that Christmas period, so at the moment, like I said, I've sort of put the sprint car in the front seat this year, and I'm trying to run with that. Obviously, this being a speed car channel is probably not, you know, something you want to hear, but it's definitely something that one year we will dedicate. You know, a year where we just go everywhere with the speed car, and you know, go to New Zealand, go to the Chili Bowl, do all that. And but I'd like to achieve a few things in the sprint car before doing that. So we'll just keep chipping away.
Yep. And plus, it'd be quite an expense to run both cars on the one night, I presume.
Yeah, speed cars are definitely not a cheaper car than a sprint car, as I think most people would think. But they're just as expensive to own and run as a sprint car. So if you want to do it correctly, anyway.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. A lot of people do think that they're a lot cheaper to run than sprint cars, but they're quite as expensive. Well, a motor these days, you're looking at what, 60, 70,000 for a decent motor for a speed car.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and that's probably US as well.
Yeah, righto. Yeah, righto. I'm a bit off then.
Yeah.
I've been told to ask you about Milo. What's the go with Milo, Dylan?
Milo?
Yeah.
Who told you to ask him?
I can't say. Something about you love your Milo.
Yeah, I like his rubs.
Yeah.
His rubs are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rob Red Raw, I think it's called.
Yeah, right.
But he loves giving me a bit of shit, and I give it back. More so the last few months. But he's a good dude, and obviously he's trying to start a bit of a professional team with the speed cars and putting a couple of young guys in. So you always got to take your hat off to people that'll put their neck out and do that.
Yep. And how's the state of speed cars in Queensland at the moment? Have we got good numbers up there, or?
It could be better, I think. I think originally, about 17 cars the other night, which isn't too bad. That's about on par with what we had last season. It would be good to see 25 to 30 cars at a show, but hopefully the guys that are running the show now will elevate it a bit more, and we can get a few more cars out there.
Yep. Tolma, have we been to Tolma yet?
Yeah, been to Tolma with the sprint car last year.
Was it as crazy as it looked like on Claver View?
Yeah, probably crazier to be honest.
Right.
More so the banking, like when you stand on even the roadside, like heading in, you're looking at it and it's just hard to put into words. You have to see it in person to know exactly what everybody's going on about. But and then once you're racing on it as well, it's a different animal, that's for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the speed cars on there. I reckon they'll be crazy on that thing.
Yeah, I think I would definitely be a bit worried to crash there. That's for sure in car. But
yeah.
I don't know, that's not what you're thinking about. But she'd be very fast and wild around there. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's it. And speaking of crashes, you broke your back a couple of years back at Bunbury.
Yeah, that was 18 months ago, I think.
Yeah.
That was not fun, but it's definitely a common injury. Once you don't really think about it, you always sort of go, "No, it's not going to happen to me." But once it does, and you start chatting to people, you actually find that it's a lot more common than in this game than what you'd think. So, I had a few people that gave me a few words of advice and who to see and what to do, and followed that. And I think just use that as a bit of a bit of fuel to continue, hit the gym really hard and strengthening my core and my neck and a lot more of the back, just to try and prevent it in the future. But it's just one of those things, unfortunately.
Yeah. So all fully recovered now?
Yeah, fully recovered. Yeah, I still train quite a bit, like I said, and from when it happened to now, sort of down about 8 kilos to what I was. So just sort of kept on with the recovery training to now. So and so far, it's been good.
Yep. And what package are we running in the speed car at the moment, Dylan?
What was that? Sorry.
What package are we running for the speed car this year?
Package?
Yeah, as in chassis and engine. What are we running?
Yeah, so we've got a Spike and a Speedway Toyota.
Yep.
So that's the combination we've got.
Popular motors, them Toyotas?
Yeah, no, they're good.
Yep. There's a lot on the market now, but the Toyotas seem to be the most powerful and most reliable, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, they definitely got good pull down low, and they don't rev that hard. So I think that helps with prolonging their life and just an easy motor to work on. Just simple.
Yep, yep. And fourth at the Chariots in the sprint car last couple of weekends ago.
Yeah.
Can't be too unhappy about that.
Yeah, no, it's good. It was a good run. We were timing in a lot better this year, and we definitely pulled some better pills this year than we did last year. So we were able to qualify a bit earlier, which helped. No denying that. And the last night there just got caught up in a bit of an incident where if that sort of didn't happen, we would have been second or third on the points, and definitely a sore spot for a few weeks there. But then you get over it and move on to the next one.
And how did you cope with the track up there, Dylan? I've been told that it changed so much over the 3 nights of racing. Was it difficult to read?
Definitely builds character for myself and the team. But it is what it is. Like, everybody is on the same track. So, the team up there did their best with it, and I think it's cool being able to run a couple inches off the fence, and then the next night you have to run the bottom. Obviously, sometimes you're not going to want to see that all the time, but just sort of adapt to the track conditions and go with it.
Yep. And I've seen you're on the calendar for the Napa at Adelaide.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll see. I think it's still being decided, but.
Yep.
Yeah, we're hopeful to get into that, and head down there in November.
Did you race there last season?
No, I wasn't there last year.
Crazy, wasn't it? Like the way they were wheel standing coming out of the corners. They're a crazy class, these sprint cars. I love them. I got introduced to Speedcars pretty well a couple of seasons ago, and I think they're on the same page when it comes to sprint cars. They're great to watch when you've got a good field.
Yeah, when there's a good field, it's definitely. I think a lot of people like the midgets. I think I got my first taste of that when the Australian title was at Archerfield there a few years back, and the crowd was packed, and there was just we were the main class. So that was a bit of an eye opener for me. Going, man, there's a lot of people that like the speed cars, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, it surprised me. I'd never been to an Australian title until last season when I went to Murray Bridge. And, the class of drivers that yourself and everyone else that was there was just like unbelievable, and the racing was just something you'll never forget. That's for sure. Yeah,
it's cool. Like I think I had Pickens and all them like Brad Mosen and that. Like when you're growing up as a kid watching those guys and. You line it up next to them in an A-main. That's, for me, it's pretty cool.
Pretty surreal. Yeah.
Mm.
Do you have any idols growing up that you looked up to?
I'd have to say, like my dad, obviously, he started me with, he was racing when he was younger. He was into sprint cars back in the day. And but I think the main one that I remember is that got me hooked on the sprint cars was Peter Thorley. I think as a kid, he let me get in the car and sit in the car, and I still remember that very clearly. So whenever a young kid comes up to me or and wants a poster or a sticker and get in the car, I'm always so like focused on that, just go, jump in, like if you want to hop in and see what it's like, because I know that I still remember that to this day. So. They'll remember that forever, sitting in a sprint car.
Yep. I remember the first time I sat in one when I was a kid, and that's a long time ago, but it was one of the biggest moments of my life. Like, I think the next best thing's driving one. So,
yeah, definitely.
I've drove one around a track, not quite as fast as what you blokes do, but it was quite an eye opener when I did. I'll tell you that now.
Have you been in a 2-seater before, or?
I got in with Robbie Farr years ago when the World Series come down to Tassie. Excuse the French, but I shoot myself. It was a great. I couldn't. The adrenaline was pumping for hours afterwards. That's for sure. But I'd do it again. My word, I would.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely would. Do you have a favourite event that you'd like to win, Dylan?
An Australian title is definitely something that I want to win, whether that's in the speed car or the sprint car, and it's kind of like a thing that, it's like you believe that you can do it, but you just I think you have to start winning races outside of, Australian titles before you can start saying that you want to, you always, it's just a dream. So if you can make that happen, if I could make that happen in my lifetime as either a driver or a team owner, a car owner, then, that's definitely on the list.
Yeah, we have to mix it up to Jock Goodyear and Lockie McCann, that's for sure, because they've dominated the last couple of seasons. Yeah,
it's definitely wild. Those boys are next level. So we're all chasing them, and it's still fun to try and beat the best of the best. It's and they're it. So we're all in them.
Have you noticed that it's turning into a younger person's division now rather than the older people? Like, depending on what it was, like 10, 20 years ago?
I think so, but there's definitely a lot of young guys that come through, and a lot more young guys win big races, that's for sure. But I think that they will then be those older guys that say that I remember, like obviously it's first starting out in sprint cars, it was Robbie Farr and, Stephen Lyons and Murcott and all them boys, obviously you look up to them, and they were a little bit older in comparison to us anyway at that point. So, and then now I think they've all sort of moved on, and they're helping the next generation come through. So, but yeah, you're right. It is a lot of young guys that are being successful, which is good to see.
Yeah, well, it's good. We needed the young fellas to come into the speedway to sort of keep it rolling in Australia. Really didn't.
No, they just don't like. I'm not old or anything, but I'm 30 next week. So you kind of, when you're rolling out and, Lockie or whatever, they're only 24 and they've already achieved, however old he is. But, I'm sure he's only 24 or so, and he's already achieved what he's achieved. You just go, man, like, if he's going for another 25 years, what's in store?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm still chasing, that success, and I feel like I'm only just sort of getting started now, really. So,
yeah. Well, the results speak, don't they? You've had good results the last 12 months or so. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely improved the last few years, that's for sure. But obviously, a lot more improvement to get to those fellas.
Yep. Cool. And are you a V8 supercar man or a Formula One man?
Formula One.
Formula One, yeah, right. Yeah. No, Aussies are getting ripped off at the moment, I think, aren't they?
I mean, it's still cool, but I definitely follow the Formula One more so than the V8s. But not taking anything away from the V8s, but still obviously cool when you get to race Cam Waters and you see Brody Kostecki, like he was parked next to the speedway and working on Kratzmann's car. You still know that they are who they are and what they've achieved and in their life. So you still have respect for what they do.
Yeah, they do it. They do it hard too. They don't do the hard yards to get where they are. That's for sure.
No, exactly. That's right.
So what do you do to keep yourself fit, Dylan, to race?
Yeah, so I go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. 3 of those is with a trainer, and that's only sort of been since I hurt my back. So, and I've just kept that rolling. And I always try to eat well. Once the race season was coming up, I stopped drinking, and I haven't had a beer since the season started. So, some people can do that, but I just feel like for myself, just I don't function well when I'm hungover or drinking. So but for me to give myself the best chance, it's eat well and keep training during the week and keep running my business and hanging out with my family. I've got 2 kids now, so there's all those things matter, as well as being successful in a race car. But always good to be healthy all the time.
Yeah, it certainly makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And the wife and the kids, mate, how do they go with you racing? Does she handle it all right, or? It's definitely hard. We got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, so it's hard when you're away for 2 weeks racing, but she definitely manages, and she's very supportive
with my dream of doing this. So, can't take anything away from her for that. But, it'll get better when they're a little bit older. It'll be a lot easier to travel with them and maybe, jump in a motorhome or something and follow the racing around. But when they're so little, it's just hard, carrying cots around and all that, and pram and stuff. So, but we'll get there.
Yeah, no, I know how you feel there, man. I've had 4 kids. It's a very hard way sometimes. Yeah. What about your mum and dad? How do they go?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Dad works on the race cars with me full time now, so that's pretty cool. That's something that I think most father and son duos would dream of. So that's good. And mum, she's she doesn't come as much as she used to. I think she's been doing it with dad her whole life, and then I then come in and take over and do it 10 times as serious as what he did, and so she's probably just a little bit over it, I guess, but she's always supportive and always sending me messages while I'm racing. She's watching on Clay per View and that, so it's good.
So what did your dad race, Dylan?
So he raced limited sprint cars back in 95 or 94, just before I was born, and I think he was racing against Pete Thorley and Andrew Shirley and stuff then, from memory, from stories he's told me.
Yep.
But before they went to the 410s, and just so him and his dad raced together. Like, his dad owned the team, and then I think dad drove for someone else at some point. And then when he had kids, he sort of had to give it away, which sucks, when you think about it, because obviously that's sort of, that was his dream, to be a sprint car racer one day, and it didn't eventuate for him. So, I'd like to think that he's sort of been able to live that out through racing with me, which is good.
Yep. And do you clash at all?
A little bit. I think he gets a bit stressed out. He wants me to do well, and then I don't do well, or something happens and he gets a bit flustered and that. But you definitely know that he enjoys it. Yeah. And probably wouldn't give it up for anything. So, took him to the Chili Bowl, and that was cool. That was like a Christmas present. So, and then I'm hoping to go to America next year and take him and the crew with me and do some watching and racing over there.
Yep. So, will you take your car to America, or will you race for someone else over there?
No, I haven't decided yet.
Yep.
I definitely have a well-established team here, with everything. We're very particular with everything and how it's set up, and I think it'd be hard to go and set that same thing up over there. So, racing for someone else would probably be easier to start with anyway, until you learn the ropes of what goes on over there, because, I've only been there for 5 days with Chili Bowl, and that was it.
Yep.
So, there's a few guys like Ryan Newton, when he comes back, have a chat to him and see how they went about it, and just see what happens.
Yep. So I didn't look on your calendar. Are you doing the high limits in Perth?
Nah. So at this stage, we're going to be doing that whole Speed Week series. Yep. I don't think that's been confirmed with all the dates and whatnot, but I think there's that whole Speed Week from Boxing Day onwards, the standard one that's normally World Series, and then goes up to that Eastern Hour Tour or something. So we're going to do all that as well. And that'll be a good experience. I think that'll be a lot of racing in a month and a half. So, just keep putting the lap in.
47 nights of racing, mate. Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah. Crazy for me too, don't worry.
How many nights?
It's hard to believe that we're doing that much.
Yeah, right. And are they all just weekend meets, or are they, is there any meetings during the week?
Yeah, it's all during the week. And
so,
Boxing night to New Year's Eve, I think there's 5, or New Year's Day, I think there's 5 nights, and then it goes all the way up to Sydney and to back to Toowoomba, and then you go back to Mildura, and then Tolma, and then it goes into Classic Week. So it's all during the week and weekends as well. So it's going to be yeah, pretty full on.
At least they're close knit tracks down in Victoria, though, aren't they? They're not very far apart. All the tracks that we sort of go to down there. Does that make life
Yeah.
a little bit easier for you blokes?
Um, yes and no. Like I've only sort of been down there once, 1 or 2 years. So most of the tracks I went to last year was all just learning the ropes because I'd never been to Avalon or Borderline or Tolma. Obviously, most people haven't been to Tolma, but just all those tracks are all new to us now. Like so, as the years go on, we'll find out how to do it properly. Whether you race somewhere, then go to the next track, or whether you stay there and wash and maintenance and then move on. Like we'll just sort of get into a rhythm and follow what all the other teams do and get some advice on how to run it.
Yep.
But hopefully we're doing that for a few years.
So when you go on the road, do you take both cars into one transporter, or you got to take two different?
Yeah, so we've got a trailer
Yep.
and a truck for the sprint car.
Yep.
So yeah, we do. If we do both interstate, we've got to take both.
Yeah, right. Yep.
And same with Toowoomba, like we had both up there, which is not too bad because only 2 hours from us. So
Yeah, right. Yep. Does pineapple belong on pizza, Dylan?
no,
So many people say that. And what do you do outside of Speedway, mate? When you're not playing around with like race cars, what else do you do?
work. Yeah, run the business and hang out with the kids, and that's honestly my whole life is racing or working out to go racing or running my business or hanging out with my family. That's about it. I don't have much time for anything else.
Yep.
Or any time to think about anything else really. That's all it is. It's either how do we get faster in the race car or what are we doing this week in the business. So it's
And little adjustments is all it takes to make cars fast, don't they?
Yeah, that's right. I've got a new crew chief as of last year, and he's been working with us for a little while, but sort of stepped up into that crew chief role last season, and I think definitely we're both developing as he's developing as a crew chief and I'm developing as a driver, both of us working together. I think we work together quite well, so it'd be interesting to see where that takes us in the next few years, and hopefully have some good success together.
And speaking of crew chief, do you think a good crew chief is the secret to a good successful team?
Yeah, I think you definitely need to have some good people around you that believe in what you're trying to do, and you have to be able to get along, just be able to listen to each other. It's definitely, you have to just get along. I think that's the biggest thing, and listen to what your crew chief says. If you are, for myself, it's if you trust them enough to hire them, then you have to trust them to tell you where to run on the track or do this, do that, and that's a big thing. Before every race, I like to have a plan. Sort of, it's just how I roll. He'll come up to me on the grid and say, all right, the last heat race just went out, Lockie did this or this person did this, so it looks like the top's in, run the top in turn 1 and 2, run the bottom in 3 and 4. Sometimes you get a bit like, maybe I'll try do this instead, and then it doesn't work out, or it might work out, and then it's just one time you'll get it right, one time you won't, and then it's just one of those things. You just have to listen to each other. Sometimes the other one's right or wrong, and just bounce ideas off each other all the time.
Yeah, cool. And that takes for a great team to be able to do that. Communication is a big thing in Speedway and in any team sport, So are you a hands-on driver, or do you just jump out of the car and tell the crew I want this done and that's all it is, or do you like to get your hands dirty?
Yeah, so at the track, since having the right people in my corner, I think I've just I can hop out of the car and I know that they're going to do their job correctly. I don't necessarily work on the car at the track, but in the shed, yes, very hands-on. We all have our jobs in the shed to do. So being a team owner as well as a driver, I want the best for the team, and obviously I want to go well. So you sort of got, you know, one person on this shoulder and one person on this shoulder telling you what to do. So, you know.
Yep. Cool. So where are we off to next, Dylan? When's the next meeting for you?
Next weekend in Toowoomba.
Yep.
The 18th of October. We'll be back for the round 2 of USC.
Yep. Big series in Queensland now.
Yeah. It's definitely been around a while, and it's I think they've upped their prize money and stuff this year. It's good. Yeah.
Yep. Awesome as. Before we go, mate, is there anyone that you'd like to thank? Sponsors, people. You know, that you can't do this by yourself, of course.
Yeah, definitely. First, obviously, my dad. He puts a lot of time in and has sort of been there, obviously, from the start. You know, it's near 20 years of racing now, so that's sort of dedicating your whole life to racing with me. So, obviously, thanks to him. And, you know, Nick, who, as I said earlier, is new crew chief for us last year, and he's putting a lot of effort in behind the scenes, so definitely can't go without thanking him. And obviously Troy as well. He's my cousin. He's come up from Wagga these last 10 shows, and he's been a big help in the shed and at the track. And I've got Sean. He's been around for a long time. He does a lot of work in the shed. Doesn't necessarily come to the track and work on the car, but you know, a lot of the engineering stuff that we need done, he does. Any fabrication work, any repairs, it's just that Sean, he'll be able to fix it. It's just one of those jack of all trades kind of guys that just knows stuff. You know, it's just crazy the amount of knowledge he has. And you know, there's a lot of other people that I'll probably miss. You know, that definitely help the team. Jamie as well. He's one of my family's friends that comes and helps on double duty nights and stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of people that you have to have in your corner to make a successful team. It's not just one person. Like, it's not just myself. I don't ever put my hand up and say, "Oh, this is all because of me." You know, it's just everybody put in place to have their job and to have their role in the team.
Yeah, people don't realise it's more than just one person out there, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah, that's right.
And it takes a big team to be able to do what you blokes do, and hats off to you, mate, to be able to drive around and be competitive in both divisions. You know, like that's hats off to you and your team. That's a real credit to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Anyway, mate, thanks for joining us tonight. We hope it all goes well for you in the season.
Yeah,
especially with the
thanks for asking me to come on.
Thank you very much. And we'll hope to catch up with you during the year and see how you're going, hopefully.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome. All right, thanks for joining us, everyone, and don't forget to like the page. And we don't know, I think we got Brett Ireland on the show next week, which could be an interesting interview because Brett's a bit of a character, I've been told. So we've got him on the show next week, so I hope you can join in then. And from all of us now, it's good night.